gun registration photo foreshadows confiscation. Yesterday was the last day Connecticut residents could register certain assault weapons as well as high-capacity magazines, under a new state law, according to NBC Connecticut. Many speculate reports of long lines, in addition to threats that unregistered firearm owners would immediately become criminals come January 1st for possessing illegal contraband, merely serve to scare gun owners into complying with the unconstitutional mandate. However, the tactic doesn't seem to be working. As of Christmas, only a paltry 25,000 assault weapons had been registered, in addition to only 17,000 high-capacity magazines. I'm willing to bet that 25,000 registered assault weapons represents a minority of the firearms that are legally required to be registered under the law, suspected J.D. Tussle of Reason. Considering that the vast majority of assault weapons use magazines restricted under the new law, and that most people purchase multiple magazines for their rifles, 17,000 registrations in that category should be seen as wildly underwhelming. While only a dismal minority actually showed up to registration events, the move to implement the law shows the state means business when it comes to eviscerating the people's rights. The gun grabbers have managed to scare less than 10% of Connecticut gun owners into compliance with this unconstitutional new law, men and women who never cherished nor understood liberty, nor the blood sacrifices made for them by previous generations, observed Bob Owens, writing for Bearing Arms. Over time, the government will tighten these restrictions even more, until those foolish enough to sign up for this registration scheme are disarmed entirely. As enraging as the photo is, Tussle emphasizes laws like these, which overtly infringe on the Second Amendment, have historically been ignored or defied by the American people. In a white paper on the results of gun control efforts around the world, Gun Control and the Reduction of the Number of Arms, Franziska Sacher, a professor of criminology at the University of Vienna, Austria, wrote, "Non-compliance with harsher gun laws is a common event." He estimated that Germans registered 3.2 million of 17 to 20 million affected weapons, when registration was implemented in that country in 1972. Austrians, he says, registered perhaps a quarter to a third of weapons subject to a similar law in 1996. When California imposed assault weapon registration in 1990, the New York Times reported only about 7,000 weapons of an estimated 300,000 in private hands in the state had been registered at the time the grace period came to a close. As we and others have exhaustively pointed out, no matter the volume of reassurances from liberals, gun registration, as innocently as it initially begins, inevitably leads to confiscation. Just ask the citizens of California if this is the case. Feds consider vehicle location tracking in new cars. In a few weeks, federal officials may require new vehicles to have trackable GPS safety devices, which could be hacked to cause automobile accidents, and may even usher in mileage taxes. With the 52V device, the GPS location for all new cars could be recorded. Credit, Minesweeper via Wiki. With the 52V device, the GPS location for all new cars could be recorded. Credit, Minesweeper via Wiki. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is spending the next couple of weeks mulling over its decision to install vehicle-to-vehicle communications known as 52V for short into new vehicles, which would allow them to talk to each other through GPS data under the guise of accident prevention, according to ABC News. However, one official involved with the government study of the devices admitted that hackers could abuse the system to create mass havoc on the road. Who has access and how do you secure the data? David Wise of the Government Accountability Office asked. He even said that the 52V would rely on GPS data that can be used to easily track a vehicle and thus the occupants inside. Privacy is a real challenge, Wise said. This is refreshing honesty from a government official. The fact that the 52V system could be hacked to cause high-speed pileups exposes the political lie that these devices were designed to prevent accidents. In fact, bureaucrats want the 52V installed in vehicles in order to track Americans like animals, in another sick extension of the domestic spy grid pioneered by the NSA. With vehicle tracking, Big government politicians could also accomplish their goal of taxing drivers by every mile driven. Lawmakers could even use this sort of technology to pass laws that allow local governments to mail drivers tickets for recorded traffic violations, as they already do with red light cameras. And to really stick it into drivers even further, the cost for the GPS technology will be tacked onto the price of new cars, forcing Americans to pay for their own enslavement. Take a look at the following articles to see for yourself the hidden agenda behind the 5.2V technology.